The Danube River on a frosty winter's day. Although once the wild borders of tribal communities, the river now connects magnificent cities that have been built on its banks over the centuries. We visit these cities at Christmas time, when the cold and dusky winter is brightened by colorful and festive traditions and celebrations. With outdoor Christmas markets, performances of joyful music, creation of special sweet treats, and dazzling decorations and illuminated displays, the cities, towns and villages on the Danube embrace the season. The Danube originates as a trickle in the Black Forest of Germany, but gains momentum on its journey across much of Europe. As an important commercial highway between nations, it played an important role in the success of the Holy Roman Empire of Germanic nations, and later the Habsburg Empire. The affluence of these societies fostered the creative genius of musicians, artists, writers and architects, and the culturally rich cities that have worked to preserve their heritages. Our winter journey along the Danube begins in Passau, Germany. Passau is one of the oldest cities in the German state of Bavaria. It was settled by the Celts and then conquered by the Romans. From the 10th to 16th centuries, it became the largest diocese of the Holy Roman Empire and a powerful seat for Catholic bishops. Here the bells ring from the 16th century Maria Hilf Baroque monastery church. The fortress, known as the Veste Oberhaus, was built in 1219 to control commerce across the river. During the Renaissance, Passau gained fame for the craftsmanship of its swordsmiths. The smiths stamped a simple symbol of the Passau wolf on the blades of their swords, from the Passau coat of arms. The warriors who wore these swords came to believe that the presence of the Passau wolf on the blade protected them from harm. The wolf is still seen in art and symbols throughout the city. In 1662, a fire destroyed most of Passau. It was rebuilt in Gothic and Baroque style, as evident in the charming buildings and cobblestone streets still standing today. As one walks up and down the winding streets, towers and church steeples reveal themselves. One of the attractive Baroque features of Passau are the various statues tucked into building facades. The bishop's palace is decorated for the season with an Advent wreath at its fountain. The town hall of Passau was not built until the 1800s, but the knights painted in fresco and the outer walls are an example of historicism, where architectural features and art are used to make a building look older than it really is. St. Stephen's Cathedral is the pride of the city and sits on the highest part of the old town. It was built in the 8th century as a basilica and rebuilt in the 17th century in Baroque style. The interior marble and stucco shows its magnificence. The cathedral is also world famous for having the world's largest cathedral organ, with 17,974 organ pipes, 223 stops and 4 carillons. One Christmas tradition is when children dress as the Three Kings on Three Kings Day, carrying a pole with a star on top, and go from house to house to gather offerings for the poor. They mark their visit using chalk and the initials CMB, which are the initials for the Latin phrase for Christ bless this home, but are also the initials for the Three Kings, Caspar, Melchior and Balthasar. Another holiday tradition is gingerbread. We visit with father and son Simon, who own the bakery below St. Paul's Church, where gingerbread has been made in the family for generations.
This business was founded over 100 years ago by my grandfather. Then my father took over, then I took over, and the owner right now is my son. And the next generation is already here too, that big. What you are going to see, we demonstrate it right here, how to make gingerbread, especially for Christmas time. This is the oldest recipe we have here in Germany. This kind of dough consists only of honey, flour, and spices and nothing else. At this time, we didn't have any sugar here in Europe. The only possibility to sweeten things was honey.